Welcome to Yeukai Business Show, UK's premier business show where we feature business thought leaders, high achievers, and industry experts. Today's episode is brought to you by World Outsourcing Solutions Limited, a company that specializes in helping executive business owners with virtual assistant services and business growth systems. Here's your host, Yeukai Ketchadori.
Hey guys, welcome back. This month I'm super excited because the guest we have on the show is somebody that I truly have worked with, or maybe you could say I've consumed her materials. In fact, I was surprised you. The training you are actually consuming in this program is fashioned on Destini's training program. I remember a few years ago, I was on AppSumo looking for training on how to create courses. I happened to bump up, in Destini's training, and it truly was a game changer for me. So it's such an honor to have Destini in our program here, especially for you as a student, because you're going to hear from somebody who creates trainings for other people so that they too can create a lifestyle. Now, you may be wondering, why do we have Destini here today? It's simply because I truly believe that creating a training program for your to sell on your podcast could be the number one strategy that can bring revenue, especially if you are getting started. And I want you to learn from the people who are doing it. And on top of that, Destini runs her own podcast and use the exact strategies we're going to be talking about today to monetize that podcast. So I'm glad that you've joined us here today. And I know many of you are getting tremendous results. And I want to highlight specifically Catherine, who has gone past the 20,000 mark downloads in the very first few weeks of launching a podcast. And I know others are also doing incredibly well. I know this because we are talking in the group coaching calls and individual calls every single month. So I'm super excited. Destini Copp, thank you so much for joining us here.
Thanks so much for having me. I'm super excited to be here with you today.
Destini, you have changed the way I do my training. You probably didn't know this, but it was thanks to AppSumo that I discovered you and started using some of your material. That is amazing. Now, for those who haven't really worked with you, can you just give them a snapshot of who you are, some of the things you've done, some of your major achievements, so that we know who you
are? So first thing I want to say is I am super passionate about online learning and learning online, which is the online courses that you're talking about, the Course in a Box, and I have others too. And I truly believe that everybody out there has something inside of them that they can teach others, or that others are wanting to learn from you. I don't care who you are. I don't care if you're a stay-at-home mom, if you're a college student, you're a business owner, you might be working a 9-to-5. You have something inside of you that you can teach others. And I started back in online courses in the dark age. So that was 2005. I started as a university marketing college professor, and I first started teaching online. That's when people were asking me, you're teaching online, you're teaching marketing online? Because this is when it first started. It was just getting started. People didn't believe that you could actually learn online. Now, fast forward now to where we are in 2021 and rounding the corner into 2022, people know out there all over the world that even little kids can learn things online. You can learn anything that you want to online. And I have just been super blessed to be in this industry and helping others put together their courses so they can not only monetize their knowledge, but they can also help people at the same time.
Yes, amazing. And for those who are joining us, and if you want to get the training course that I bought, there will be a link in the membership area that you can actually go get it from there, and you can learn exactly what I learned from Destini not too long ago, and pattern your training course to what you do, because it's very simple, very effective. And by the way, Destini, I have to tell you this, you are very easy to follow. I've bought so many training programs over the years, and some of them are very good. They are good salespeople, so they know how to put this in, so that you buy. But when you get inside, it's really difficult to follow. But not with your training courses. I truly appreciate that for sure.
Well, you have to remember too, I've been a college marketing professor teaching online for almost 2 decades now. So I know how to break things down and to make it very, very simple for folks. And that's really, people think that if I got to build a course, it's got to be, have 200 hours worth of videos. No. People don't want that. They want things that are short and to the point, and they want to learn quickly. So it's really, quite frankly, a lot easier to create an online course than what a lot of people think.
Absolutely. I can speak, first-hand experience from there, simplifying things. Now, let's help my students here listening today, and many of them, Destiny, have got a podcast. Many of them have just started a podcast, and they're looking at ways to monetize their knowledge, what they're doing. In your opinion, knowing what you know about course creation, would you suggest that people go for this strategy right in the beginning or later on?
I think you can jump right into it. Even if you're just getting your podcast started, because the reality is people are going to come back, and you can probably, I'm sure you teach this, they'll come back, a year later and listen to that podcast that you did a long time ago. Yes. So, I think you can get started right away. I think there's a lot of different ways you can monetize. I'm sure that you teach all of this in your course. I'm a big fan of digital products like online courses, because it gives them something substantial. You're teaching them something, you can upsell them in the future. So there's a lot of things that you can do with an online course. I'll give you some examples of what I've done with my own podcast and how I've monetized my own podcast. Most of it has been through course revenue. So I've either been promoting one of the courses that I sell, or maybe it's one of the courses that I sell on AppSumo, so I might send them to AppSumo. The benefit of me sending them to AppSumo is I also get affiliate revenue if they purchase another product from AppSumo. So that's kind of been a bump, quite frankly, in my affiliate revenue, is by doing that. But, depending on the topic that I'm covering in my podcast, if I have another course in my portfolio that's related to that, I'll promote that course and say this podcast is sponsored by, this particular course, like my email box template course that I have, if I'm talking about email marketing. But, there's a lot of ways that you can monetize your podcast with digital products.
Yeah, that's awesome. Thank you for that. Let's dive deep into the process of creating your course. Where do you start from? Imagine there is a lady by the name Catherine. I use Catherine because we've just been talking, and is doing incredible things out there today. Who has started? She's helping Christian ladies because her market is Christians, ladies perhaps who are struggling. How can she monetize her knowledge through an online course? Where can she start?
Yeah, so there's different things that she can do, and I don't know exactly how she has her services and her portfolio set up, but a lot of people who are coaches, and I'm making a little bit of assumption here that she might do a little bit of coaching. I may be wrong here, so I apologize if I am. But a lot of people who are coaches, what they will do, they'll offer like a coaching bundle or a session for like 6 weeks, and they might even do group coaching in there, and they might bundle in an online course. So what they could do with their podcast is say, I have this group coaching session that's going to be coming up next month. I'm going to run it for 6 weeks or 8 weeks or whatever you're due. In addition to our weekly sessions, you're also going to get, maybe an ebook, maybe an online course that goes with it, and you can bundle it all in with that price. So that's one way to do it. Now, to get started and kind of delving into that a little bit more, you said she helps Christian ladies. So maybe she's, I'm trying to think about this particular niche, but maybe she's helping them kind of on their spiritual journey. Digging into what they want to explore for that. So maybe she creates a course or does some type of ebook. Ebooks are still digital products that you can sell and promote on your podcast. So maybe she creates an online course and offers that as part of, what she's doing to help them along their spiritual journey.
Yeah.
Now, some of the first steps to kind of figure it out, I would do a little bit of research.
Yeah.
There's a lot of places that you can go to figure out what exactly should be covered in the online course. And this is a good first step, especially for people who are still trying to figure out their niche and what their niche, how they can help people. She might be a little bit farther along, but there's places that you can go to do your research. One of the first places I always recommend people to go if they're trying to figure out their course and what topics they should cover in a course is Udemy.
Yes.
Udemy has a great wealth of knowledge. And if you sign up for one of their their teacher access passes, if you would, you can go in there and you can do a little bit of research and they will even tell you how many clicks and research queries they're getting on certain topics. So if there's demand in that area. But if you just want to look at topics, you can just go to their website and scroll down and find your niche and, kind of do a deep dive there and see what other people are teaching on that subject. Not that you're going to copy them, because you're certainly not going to do that, but it will tell you if there's market demand for that particular niche and topic that you're interested in teaching about.
I'm so glad that you mentioned that, because we covered that in one of the modules there, where we were doing a research on what type of a podcast you should create, because you want to create a podcast that has a ready market already. People are hungry for it. And that strategy of going to Udemy is one powerful strategy, because you can serve people for exactly what they want. Just create something that they need and be in it for a long time. I love that. Absolutely love that for sure. You coming along and just, edify to what we already teach here is incredible. One of the things, perhaps I would talk for myself, it took me a while to actually launch a course. I've launched several courses now, but it wasn't like, let's do it right away. Even though I knew that I needed to do this, but I had some mental blocks. In your experience, what sort of mental blocks have you had, you had from people?
So I've experienced this myself. So, we're all in good company if anybody's kind of, feeling like this. But the one thing I will say is, when I first started, and keep in mind, I had a lot of experience in this area. I was coming from higher online education. I'm a marketing person, right? I've been working with marketing over 25 years, but even I had a hard time kind of wrapping my head around some of this. And really where I was stuck was, I thought, based on my experience and the exposure I had to previous online courses, I thought I had to create this big, huge signature type of program, and that's what I did in the beginning. And I would say that's one of the mistakes I made. And what I recommend for most people out there, especially if you're just getting started in creating your online course, is to start with what I call a mini course. Okay. So it's really just giving your customers, giving your clients a quick win. It doesn't have to be long. It could be, 10 5-minute videos. It could be, 5-10-minute video, just something super, super short. Something that if they're stuck on a particular topic, what can you do to kind of help move them over? But starting with that mini course makes it so much easier. And then you can dip your toes into online course creation, and you can create that, higher price program later on the line. But this will just give you something to sell on your website. You can sell it on social media. You can put it on a marketplace like what I've done with AppSumo. There's a lot of different things that you can do with it.
And the beautiful thing about that is that once you create your mini course, your confidence just shoots up, because you realize that you too can create these courses. Because, if you haven't done it, it looks like this massive mountain to climb. But once you've done it and you look back and say, well, you know what, hang on a minute, I actually did that. It's good. and when you get some reports or reviews from others, you see that you are actually helping people. So you go ahead and create these mini courses as well. So for those perhaps who haven't started creating this, what sort of outline should they have?
Yeah, so there's a lot of different ways you can create your outline. So you have your topic. So the next step would be to create your outline. And I like to do just a Google Docs, and I'll kind of write everything down. Sometimes if I'm a little bit stuck, I'll get Post-it notes and put them up on the wall. I'm looking at my wall there because I've had a lot of courses up on the wall, and I can kind of move the Post-it notes around. Some people like to use what they call mind mapping software to kind of pull all their thoughts together. But really, the first thing you want to do is to put everything down on a piece of paper.
Yes.
Everything around that topic that you think that they need to know for whatever you're going to create the course about. Doesn't mean you have to cover it all, but that's going to be your first step, is just to throw everything down, and then you're going to organize it into step by step process. And the one thing I always tell people, don't forget about, because this is something that a lot of people miss, is when you're creating your outline, also think about what kind of supplemental material you need. What workbooks you need, cheat sheets, checklists to help your students, get through the content. And also, this is a big one, so stay with me here. So when you go to sell your course, you're going to need some type of what we call bonus material. And bonus material is so very key and helpful into helping you sell that course, because your students are like, oh, wow, they're giving me, he's giving me such great value in all this. You don't want to forget about this bonus material. It's not material that they need necessarily to achieve the transformation that you're promising them, but it's just material that's kind of icing on the cake that they're going to say, oh, I've got to have this, and it's going to help your conversions when you come down to sell it. So I covered a lot there, so I'll kind of recap here. So kind of throw everything down on the wall or your Google Docs or whatever you're using. Then you're going to organize it into a step-by-step process. Don't forget about your supplemental material, your workbooks, cheat sheets, checklist, if you need that. And also, don't forget about your bonus material that you'll need to include, because you need to create that also when you come down to sell it.
Love that. Destini, I have to tell you that the cheat sheets were an absolute winner for me in the course in the box that you put together. I like the template that you gave us to. This is how the PowerPoint you can use. You gave us a link to go to Canva, and we just had to change it to make it look like ours with our brand. That was amazing. I thought that alone was worth the price of that, and even more for me. So that is a good tip. And for those listening and maybe watching, I highly recommend the course in a box, and there will be a link below this training that you can go and access that. By the way, it is not that expensive. In fact, you get, when you create your courses through this strategy that Destini teaches, you will get your money back 10 times more, more than that actually, because I've done it, and I think you too can do exactly the same thing. So I highly recommend the course. Other than what we've talked about, would you say one can create a course in one sitting, or it requires a lot of time before they launch their course?
So when you're creating a mini course, I teach a process where you can do it in less than a week, because it really, truly doesn't take a lot of time and energy to create the course. Now, there's some other things that you're going to need to do in addition to that. So I want to be kind of honest and upfront about that. You're going to have to create all of your marketing material, your email sequences, your sales page, but to actually create the course, I've done several of them in just a weekend. Yes. Right? So it really doesn't take that much time. Now, if you're creating this big, huge signature, this 6-month type program, it's going to take you longer to create something like that. And that's okay. You might want to tackle something like that as you get further along, and you feel more comfortable doing that. Like for you, maybe you're going to put together this huge, 6-month program to help people create their podcast and that sort of thing. So, but just to do the mini course and to, do the outline, create the content for the videos, record the videos, it really doesn't take that much time.
It doesn't. I remember when I created my outsourcing course, as many of the listeners and those who are watching this later know that, I help people with outsourcing. So I thought, I'll create a training for those who want to do it for themselves and not come through us. I did that in one sitting, one weekend, like you said. I took some time out with, I think Trevor remembers this as well, because he was saying, oh, where are you going away? I said, well, I want to create a course. So I went away, booked a hotel somewhere in a place called Basingstoke, not too far from where I live here, and sat down and created a course. But it's having the templates, the cheat sheet that you're talking about, because oftentimes you have the knowledge, it's all there, especially if you've been doing it for a long time. But knowing how to extract that information from your head, put it on a paper, put it on PowerPoint, and record straight away, that's where the key thing is. So I truly appreciate what you've just shared there for sure. Let's talk about the mistakes that you have discovered people make, perhaps, when they're starting, maybe they're launching their courses for the first time.
So one mistake that it's really where people get stuck sometimes, is choosing their online course platform. They feel like it's a big deal, and it is a big deal to them. There's a lot of options out there, right? The marketplace, it's a very crowded marketplace with these apps who will host your online course. I know of probably 30 plus, apps out there that will do that. AppSumo has businesses that are coming up every single day trying to, get into this market. But what I want people to know is, even if you pick a platform and you load your course content on there and you decide to change in the future, that's okay. I've known course creators out there who had thousands of students on their course platform and they migrated to a new one. It's okay. And truly, all of the major players out there are going to fit your needs, right? Podia, Teachable, Think of It, Kajabi, all of those out there are going to be perfectly fine. I know that there's a lot of new ones that are coming up on AppSumo, and I'm sure that those are going to be fine also. They might be a little glitchy, right, in the beginning, but they'll get there. But my point is, students don't really care what course platform you're on. Even if you want to host it on your own WordPress website, if you are extremely technical and you feel comfortable with that, I would say go for it. Yeah. Students really just want to be able to log in, watch your content, download your workbooks, whatever you're giving to them, watch your videos, and they only care about the transformation that you are promising them. They don't care if it's on a Teachable website, a Think of It website, a Podia website. It really kind of looks all the same to them. So I wouldn't worry about that. I would more worry about finding the students, all of your marketing. Focus on your marketing. If I had to give one tip today to everybody, it would be to focus on your marketing. People don't care if your videos might have a little glitch here and there, or it might not be as polished. I don't think my videos are extremely polished, to be quite frank with you. I didn't get a videographer in there to help me. It was just me recording them on a Zoom. Very similar to what you and I are doing today. And a lot of mine are just screen shares. Right, of PowerPoints. It's so simple to do that. Anybody could do that with a free Zoom account.
Amazing, absolutely amazing. I love how you are simplifying this, because for me at the beginning, and I know the same thing for my students here, is I used to overthink it. Like, I need to have this in place. I need to have this in place. I need that. Until I figure out that, just create it, do the very best you can. Of course, be diligent in what you're creating and make sure that your information is transformational. It truly helps people. That's what most people care about. And then you can make it look beautiful, or maybe make it look excellent as you go, but just get started. That is what has helped me a lot. We are coming toward the end of our time here, Destini, and as a course creator yourself, what are some of your top tools that you recommend anyone who's looking to get started with creating course to use, especially now?
So top tools would be, I love Zoom for just doing screen share. So that's one of the tools that I use. I love Canva. So all of the workbooks, the presentations, all of the marketing material, I use Canva, and you can use the free version of Canva. I actually have the paid version because I get so much out of it and use it for a lot of different things, but the free version works great too. So I've just mentioned 2 free tools that people can use to create their online course. And I didn't mention anything about anything that's going to cost you money. So, in terms of online course platforms, like I mentioned, all of the ones that I've talked about today, Thinkific, Teachable, Podia, Kajabi. I use Kajabi. It's a little bit more pricey than the other ones, but I have used all of those that I have mentioned to you with clients, and they work perfectly fine.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. And once you create a course, the real work starts when you begin to have inquiries and all that. How do you deal with that?
So I try to set up my courses and my sales funnels with what I call evergreen sales funnels.
Right.
And I'll explain what I mean by that. So basically what happens is somebody finds out about my course, or maybe they sign up for one of my lead magnets, and I have automated sales funnels that are set up. So basically it's an email sales funnel that is set up to promote my online courses or other products or services that I sell. So I'm not having to do anything. It's all automated. The only thing I generally will do on the sales page that I have for the online course, I'll have like a chat bot on there, an email where people, they have a question about the course. They'll send me an email. I get some for sure. But a lot of the questions, I think I've already answered for them on that particular sales page, because there's an FAQ section, there's a testimonial section. So the sales page is very in-depth. So a lot of the questions are already answered. If it's something they want to purchase, they go ahead and purchase. They're automatically attached to the course. So again, all of this is automated. They automatically get attached. They get their login information. They can start going through the course immediately. And I'm not having to do anything. And even after they're a student, I have everything that's automated set up to help them complete the course. So depending on the course, they might get an email every day for like a week, or, for a couple weeks, they might get an email every week. It just kind of depends on the course and how it's set up and how they go through the material, but everything is automated.
All of that. The easier your hands off it is, the better, because it becomes more effective. You can scale. You can then focus on the marketing aspect of it, which is where you are supposed to be spending. Once you create your training program, your focus should be on the marketing aspect of that. So we truly appreciate that. Destini, this has been wonderful. It truly has been wonderful. For those who want to carry on learning from you, where can they find you?
The best place to go is my main website, and I do have links there to a lot of our different brands, but DestiniCopp.com is the best place to find me.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing. Well, there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. We truly hope you can start creating your own courses as part of your monetization strategy for your podcast. I'm doing it, and Destini is doing it, and many people are already doing it. And today you've just had a taste of what to do and how to go about in creating your course. Believe me, it is not that difficult. If you can create a podcast, I'm convinced that you can create a course for your audience, because they want to hear from you, and that's why they're already listening to your podcast. So you might as well create something that they're going to use. Actually, before I wrap up here, Destini, what is the usual price point that you use for the mini course?
My mini courses are generally around $50. They might go up to like $80, but generally that's what they are. Kind of the more in-depth courses are going to be like between $300 and $500. And if you're doing like a signature course, something like a big program, those generally run anywhere from like $1,000 to $2,000.
That's correct. There you have it. So you can start with something really simple, a mini course, and price it at a no-brainer price point with great bonuses and create that good rapport and create the community. In fact, one of the things I like about Destini is the Facebook community that Destini has created. You can do that, and then you can sell your products or your courses one after the other to the same community. It's a powerful way of monetizing your podcast. And again, we know that you can do this. And if you've got any question, you can reach out in the WhatsApp group or reach out to me directly during our normal coaching calls so that we can help you. We know you can do this. And finally, I wanted to announce to you about our other monetization strategy that we are using. As many of you already know this, that we launched bundles of all our podcasts. We've simplified it. So I have got one on leadership, one of management, where we take all the interviews, maybe 5 to 10 interviews we've done with experts, restructure it, and then I create a training program around that. And those are, the recording of the podcast that we have done, some of them 2-3 years ago, will be there just to support what we're doing. And you can see an example of this when you go to, there will be a link below this recording as well. Or you can go to my website, you'll be able to find the link that takes you there to our sales point where we are selling these same materials with the training, really good training that I do and Trevor does, so that you can access that, you can model that same model, and you will see a tremendous result. So it's another way of monetizing your podcast or your efforts that you're putting in today. So I want to thank you, for being part of the training and also for participating in the WhatsApp group in the community. There's so much going on, you helping each other. I truly appreciate that. And we cannot wait to hear more of your success stories. Destini, this has been wonderful. Thank you again for blessing us with your presence here and your generosity with your knowledge.
Thank you so much for having me. It was so much fun.
Awesome. There you go, ladies and gentlemen. I can't wait to be with you again next time. Until then, live well, live with passion. Know that the best is truly yet to come. Goodbye for now.
Thank you for listening to Yeukai Business Show. We will be back to bring you more episodes with success stories and advice straight from the experts. Want more? Check out www.yukaibusinessshow.com. Get your free trial of our virtual assistant service today. Just visit www.worldoutsourcingsolutions.com. Quote WOS18 or send us an email at support@worldoutsourcingsolutions.com.